Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we've got word of a new set coming out in Japan, and it looks really good. This one is going to be ridiculously popular, and I'm just going to say this right at the start of the video, and I say this without any hyperbole or exaggeration or clickbait or any of that rubbish. I believe this is going to be the new Eevee Heroes. I believe this is going to appeal to the same kind of fan as Eevee Heroes, and I believe that this is a kind of set which is going to end up being popular to the level of Eevee Heroes, and I don't say that lightly. So with such a bold claim, what have we got? Well, apparently, we have got Pokémon Card 151 set. Now, we don't have a huge amount of information about it. What we have is basically a listing with some other products we'll get to in a moment, but it's a kind of thing that's popping up in multiple places with multiple sources, all of which seem to say the same thing, and it's got people on Japanese Twitter very excited indeed. Now, it's supposedly releasing on June the 16th, which makes perfect sense. There are apparently going to be 165 cards plus Secret Rare, which is actually a lot. This is going to be a subset, so this is more than we would generally expect. 20 packs per booster box, and one booster box costing 5,800 yen. The set is a little bit bigger than we would generally expect, although there's a decent reason for it. Outside of that, this makes perfect sense. And look, this is Pokemon, right? So if I tell you that it is the Pokemon Card 151 set, there's only one thing to which that can realistically be referring. It's clearly Kanto. It's clearly the original 151 Pokemon. Like, obviously, this is Gen 1. 151 Pokemon, yes, of course we're including Mew. It's got to be that. Everybody knows that the number 151 in the context of Pokemon means Gen 1, Kanto, call it what you will, the original games, Pokemon Red and Blue, Green if you're in Japan as well. Point being, there can't really be any realistic counter-argument here, can there? Like, I don't think we need to discuss this any further. It is obviously, very, very obviously, come on. So, this is why I'm relating it back to Eevee Heroes. Because the whole point about Eevee Heroes was it was a special set, a mini set, a subset, call it what you will, not a main set. And it was very much themed around the Eevees. And it was a set that brought us all of those lovely Eevees and the special arts and all of that. And it was a very lovely set. It was a set where we ended up with Moonbreon, or for me personally, I prefer the Leafeon. It's a Hygonosuke card that is honestly a bit too expensive, which is a little bit sad at this point. But one day, ladies and gentlemen, one day I will be able to justify buying the Japanese version of Leafeon, and it will be lovely. My point is, that was very much a special set, which was themed after popular Pokemon that was trying to get casual fans. Because it was, right? Casual Pokemon fans love the Eeveelutions, so that was a set which was very much designed to get them. This 151 set is going to do the same thing. Obviously, it's going to have a new Charizard in, and obviously there's going to be a new Pikachu in there, and there's going to be a Mewtwo in there. There's basically all of these super popular Pokemon, they're all going to be in there. And again, I don't think it's fair to assume anything else. Of course they're going to be in there. They're not going to call it Pokemon 151 and then put some of the original 151 in. If you're going to call the set 151, you've got to put all of the original 151. All the Gen 1 Pokemon have to be in there. Just like you don't call it Eevee Heroes and leave out some of the Eevees. Now, it is worth remembering that they did actually leave out some of the Eevees, but only the VMAXs. So remember there was that Eevee VMAX set, which had the Gen 1 Eevee VMAXs in. That was the only place to actually get them in that particular box, which was still one of the coolest products we've ever seen. It was awesome. And then we had that little promotion to get these special arts of them, including the Okacheke. And no, I will probably never own the Japanese Okacheke Flareon, because the price of it is ridiculous. But when we're talking about this, it is worth bearing in mind, this is a kind of thing we should be expecting as well. Some kind of special promotion, something to build a little bit more hype. Because remember, Eevee Heroes was a summer set. Came out on May the 28th in Japan. This is a summer set. It is coming out on June the 16th. And remember that special promotion they had for the alternate art Gen 1 VMAXs, that was actually, basically what you had to do was play a game of the Pokemon TCG over the summer and then submit a little report online. It was very much a case of, hey, let's do a bit of a tie-in with summer. That was not a coincidence, and it's not a coincidence that this also just so happens to be releasing at the beginning of summer. Obviously, it's releasing at the beginning of summer, ladies and gentlemen. Why would we expect anything else? And I know there's a lot of supposition in what I'm saying here, but it really isn't. It's not so much that we're making this up. It is we are looking at what Pokemon have done before, and they are just... And when I say repeating the tricks, I don't mean that in a bad thing. I mean, they did something... It worked. We all loved Eevee Heroes, so it would make sense that they would do that again. The fact that it's releasing at the beginning of summer, not a coincidence. The fact that it is going after the nostalgia of particularly popular Pokemon, used to be Eevees, now it's 151. None of this is a coincidence. This is all exactly what we should be expecting. Now, there are a couple of other products that have been listed at the same time. We've got a Pokemon Card 151 card file set Pokeball. But basically, it's a card file, right? But it's got Pokeballs on. Exactly the kind of thing we should be expecting, honestly. And then we've also got a card file set Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. Oh, look. It's the Gen 1 fully evolved first partner Pokemon. Who could possibly have predicted that that would be coming? Everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely everyone. Now, weirdly enough, the card files are often listed as things like this, the A4 files. But then they might mean binders. It's something along those lines. Binder files, something like that. What they actually are isn't important to what we're talking about today. Because the fact that it features a Pokeball and the fact that it features Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise... That tells you, again, we are going full nostalgia with Gen 1 Pokemon. I wouldn't expect to see any Pokemon from Gen 2 or above appearing in this set. But to go a little bit further, I would expect to see EXs of Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. Because we know they're coming. They're always coming. They're gonna get EXs in this set. Now, I can't actually say for certain, blah, blah, blah. But we got Charizard VMAX. That one came around in Darkness Ablaze. And we got Blastoise and Venusaur VMAX. Now, admittedly, they came around as promos, but we did go and get them. They're gonna get EXs. In the same way that we got Pikachu VMAX. We actually got two of them. We got the first one in Vivid Voltage, but then we got the promo that was a Korokoro promo that is finally now actually coming out in Crown Zenith in the Pikachu VMAX Special Collection. So, yeah. We're going to be getting... I feel pretty confident those 4 EXs are going to be in the set. Now, again, I don't know those EXs are going to be in the set. Let's be perfectly clear. I cannot tell you those EXs are going to be in the set because we are months away from the set. What I'm telling you is that there is merchandise coming around at the same time, on the same date, featuring those Pokemon... And it makes a huge amount of sense without the merchandise. Time you add in the merchandise at this stage, I'm not saying it's a done deal, but in my eyes, it's pretty gosh darn close. What we actually know about the set, to be clear, what we actually know about the set is it is coming out on the 16th of June. It's going to feature 165 cards plus secret rares, and it's called Pokemon Card 151 set. That is what we actually know about the cards. But we can look at what Pokemon have done before. We can look at the way they've treated the Gen 1 Pokemon. We can look at what they did with Eevee Heroes. And I think it's very, very fair to say at this stage that this is one of those sets that is playing on nostalgia. Evolutions did the same thing. And no, I don't think it's an exaggeration to start comparing this to Evolutions. Because Evolutions was a set which was very much hitting at the nostalgia of Gen 1, of Kanto, of the original 151. And this seems to be a set doing the same kind of thing. Every couple of years, Pokemon like dropping a set which really hits at the nostalgia strings, as it would. Because you do set after set after set, which realistically are appealing to Pokemon TCG fans and the odd Pokemon fan outside of that. But the Pokemon TCG is huge, and there are a lot of Pokemon fans that don't play the TCG. So every so often, you drop a full nostalgia set that is going to appeal to a wider audience outside the TCG with the hope that they get involved with it, and then they move on to the TCG. Pokemon Go did a similar thing just last year. Now, Pokemon Go wasn't a full nostalgia set like that, but Pokemon Go was a set that just said, hang on a second, Pokemon Go's like super duper duper crazy popular. Why don't we release a Pokemon Go set? And the goal of Pokemon Go was very simple. Hook Pokemon Go players in the TCG so they stick around. It wasn't so much a nostalgia play like Evolutions or Eevee Heroes. It was a let's grab the Pokemon Go players. Well, this is it for this set. In terms of how we are going to be getting this, it's just going to be in a regular set. Like, if we take a look at the release schedule for just a moment, we've got Scarlet and Violet EX, which is coming out in Japan, well, now. Triple Beat is scheduled for March the 10th. Snow Hazard and Glayburst is scheduled for April the 14th. And this is scheduled for June the 16th. I wouldn't expect any other sets, incidentally. We expect 2 sets every 3 months. So January, month off. March and April, month off. June. That fits what we've been seeing for years. So don't expect a May set. This looks up till June a complete release schedule in terms of sets. But Scarlet and Violet EX is basically Scarlet and Violet 1. Triple B is Scarlet and Violet 1A. Snow Hazard and Clayburst is Scarlet and Violet 2. We will get Scarlet and Violet 2 bundled with Triple Beat. That will be one set for us. The 151 is Scarlet and Violet 2A. So we, at some point, and by some point I mean August or September, we're going to get Scarlet and Violet 3, which is going to be Japan Scarlet and Violet 3, bundled with this 151 set. It is not one of those sets which is going to be released on its own over here. It should, and I can't say for certain, they might spin it off into its own set. It is likely to be bundled into our August or September set. Should be August, but it might be pushed back to September because we are seeing a little bit of a delay in sets at the moment. But this is just in the same way that Evolving Skies was our August set, and Eevee Heroes was popped in alongside that. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very exciting set. As soon as we have more news, obviously I will bring it to you. But for now, I just want to know what you think about all of this. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts where I answer all of your questions, join a Discord and chat with us about Pokemon. It doesn't have to be Pokemon, it can be anything you like. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Edgar Menares, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So thank you very much for the support and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross and you've been watching PTCG Radio.